at it again, and you guys have got to see this clip here. Now, as you guys have probably heard, the left has been trying to move Uncle Trump from the ballot. And recently, another court case has been resolved in Colorado. I believe there have been others as well. But this recent one was in Colorado, where, you know, a judge basically said that, no, you can't take him off the ballot. Now, the judge did say some other stuff, you know, when the judge was ruling that the left is really sticking on. But the fact remains, you're not taking him off the ballot, which that's pretty much the only way you're going to beat him at this point, is taking him off the ballot. And the left is losing that battle. But I want to play this clip from CNN with Caitlin Collins, because it is just absolutely hilarious watching Caitlin try to perform mental gymnastics around this extra little bit that the judge said, but it means absolutely nothing at the end of the day. It's hilarious. So this clip is about 10 minutes long. I'll let it play and I'll interject, you know, where I see fit. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
Tonight, Donald Trump has survived what was the most serious attempt to force him off the ballot in the primaries. A Colorado judge says that he can't stay on the ballot there. This is also the first time that a judge has determined that Donald Trump, the former president, engaged in insurrection. I want to read you the exact language of this ruling that just came out a few moments ago. The judge says that Trump acted with the specific intent to incite political violence and direct it at the Capitol with the purpose of disrupting the electoral certification. So why did Denver District Court Judge Sarah Wallace keep him on the ballot? Because of that quote that you just heard there. She said that's because the Constitution's insurrectionist ban doesn't apply to presidents. Tonight, the Trump campaign is applauding this decision not to remove him from the ballot, but no mention yet about the extension there, those hundreds of pages that the judge had tying the former president to January 6th. I am joined now by the attorney who represented Donald Trump in this case and also is Colorado's former Republican Secretary of State, Scott.
I just want to know, how did he incite it? The last time I checked, he never said, hey, go break in and, you know, rummage through everything and blah, blah. Like, he never said that last time I checked. He said, go protest peacefully and patriotically, if I remember the quote correctly. I could have it mixed up a little bit. I'm sure you guys will comment it in the comment section. But last time I checked, he said peacefully. So, like, I don't understand what's wrong with saying, hey, go protest peacefully. Because the last time I checked, Democrats have been doing that all over the place. As a matter of fact, we just saw Democrats rioting, basically, outside the DNC headquarters. Like, I'm just saying, you know what? Like, this stuff is ridiculous. But anyway, let's continue.
Scott Gessler. Scott, thank you for being here tonight. Have you spoken with the former president? What was his reaction to this ruling?
So I have not spoken with him, but obviously we've spoken with the legal team, and we're pretty satisfied with the outcome.
And is this something that you expect? I mean, the other side, we do expect the plaintiffs to appeal it here. If that happens, what's your argument going to be to the Colorado Supreme Court?
Well, I'm almost certain that the plaintiffs are going to appeal this case. We'll argue to the Colorado Supreme Court a lot of the same arguments we made before, which is, you know, the textual and historical analysis of the 14th Amendment, especially, you know, considering the fact that the way our Constitution is set up, the way our republic is set up, is people get to choose who gets to be their president. We shouldn't have courts striking people from the ballot.
Exactly. I thought Democrats loved democracy. I thought they loved democracy, people voting and having a choice. But then when it comes to Uncle Trump, the people are supposed to, like, not have a choice. You know, it's really funny how the Democrats work. You know, it's the same thing when it comes to this positivity and love everybody, blah, blah, blah kind of stuff. Yeah, it's all fun and games until it comes to Republicans and Uncle Trump. Then you get to hate them. I thought y'all were all about love and positivity. What happened to that? Like, that goes out the window when it comes to Uncle Trump and Republicans. Goodness gracious. What hypocrites, right?
We're also going to, you know, fully take on the court's erroneous argument that President Trump engaged in an insurrection. We think that's just flat out wrong, certainly contrary to the evidence. It was a little bit unusual for her to spend a lot of time talking about that and then at the end rule that the 14th Amendment didn't apply.
Why do you think she did have that?
Well, first,
why do you think, Scott, that the judge here did add those 100 pages of her, going into detail about the role that she believed your client played in January 6th?
Because she couldn't help herself.
Well, I think pretty clearly she is not a fan of President Trump. But to be honest with you, normally courts will rule on the jurisdictional issues, will rule whether the law applies before going into all of that. So it's really sort of a backwards way of going into it compared to how courts normally do it. Maybe she just wanted to be able to say that. I don't really know her motivations along those lines. But at the end of the day, it's, the voters of Colorado are going to be able to make the choice, not a court. And we're thankful that she respected the role of voters and stopped these sort of efforts, or at least the effort in Colorado, which is anti-democratic, trying to strike President Trump off the ballot.
But given the fact that she does go into such detail and is now the first judge to ever say that Donald Trump engaged in an insurrection, do you still really view this as a win here?
Yes, it's a win. Her opinion means absolutely nothing. See, and this is why I wanted you guys to see this. Like, they are so stuck on this judge saying, oh, yeah, well, but he actually did, but it's just so funny. Like, what is the actual judgment? What is the actual ruling? That's what matters. I don't care what you say. It's like someone's words versus somebody's actions. I don't care what you say. I care about what you actually do. Like that's what actually matters in life. You could say all day long, oh yeah, Rich, I'm going to punch you in the face. But until you actually do it, it means nothing to me. You could say all day long, yeah, Rich, I'm going to punch you in the face. Okay. I haven't seen you come within even 10 feet of me, so I know you're not going to do it. Now, when you actually come within 10 feet and then you say that and actually do it, now we talking. But like they're getting excited because somebody is 30 feet away from somebody saying, yeah, I'm going to punch you in the face. They're like, ooh. Goodness gracious. These folks are literal kids. Y'all remember two people would be getting ready to fight and like there would be a crowd and everybody be, ooh, and they haven't even fought yet. And I'm like, yo, they haven't even fought. Like, what y'all doing? Why are we getting excited? Like they're those kids getting geeked. Oh, look! Goodness gracious!
We can't stop the judge from saying things like that and still ruling in our favor. But I will tell you, she also said that the First Amendment protections don't apply to President Trump the way they do to everyone else. And we think that's flat wrong. So there are a lot of problems with that analysis. Maybe that will wind up contesting it, maybe not, depending on how the appeal comes out. But at the end of the day, she ruled for us, and properly so. And this, is her opinion on what happened. But it has no legal authority at all because of her ruling.
But I guess some people would read this and see where she says that he acted with specific intent to incite political violence, directed at the Capitol, that he not only knew about the potential for violence, but that he actively promoted it and incited it on January 6, 2021. And they'll say, okay, yes.
How did he actively promote and incite it? Like, this stuff is weird to me. And for any of my legal experts, y'all got to let me know in the comment section. But I was raised in a way that I think a lot of our parents told us, well, if so-and-so told you to jump off the bridge, you going to actually do it? I'm sure a lot of us heard that saying from our parents. I was one of those individuals. I definitely heard that saying, right? So, like, at the end of the day, for my legal experts, because I am not one. Okay? Are you technically responsible if you say that? I feel like you shouldn't be. And I'm not saying that Trump said anything like that, because as far as my knowledge goes, he didn't, okay? Peacefully and patriotically are the words that I remember. But how are you responsible for somebody else's actions? Like, that's just wild to me. Like, they did it. not me. Like, I could say all day long, or at least I feel like I should be able to say all day long, do X, Y, and Z. I'm just saying it. I'm not doing anything. And they don't have to do anything. But at the end of the day, if they do something, they did it, not me. Now, maybe there are lots of laws, regarding that I'm not aware of. Y'all let me know in the comment section, please, if we have any lawyers watching. But yeah, I just feel like that's absolutely ridiculous. But that's just me.
He is staying on the ballot, but the judge also is tying him to all of this activity, saying that he was responsible for what happened that day, and ask how this is a victory for the Trump team.
Look, part of the problem with that analysis is that what she did is she took the January 6th report, which was a wholly one-sided approach used to attack President Trump directly and politically. And she imported that whole thing into the case itself. She viewed that as reliable, which is, I think most reasonable people would view that as absurd. And so she relied upon that to make some of those
decisions. There are people who would not agree with that.
The foundation
right,
of that
Scott?
is rotten. I'm sorry?
There are people, yes, there are some people who do not like the January 6th report. There are a lot of people who believe its findings. I mean, I saw you making this argument in court, saying that you didn't believe that should be something that, the other side was basing their argument on here. But is there anything, is there anything, I guess, in the facts that she's laying out here and the statements that she's laying out here that you dispute about Trump's behavior on that day?
Absolutely. He did not act with intent or specific intent at all. We thought the evidence was very clear that he made efforts to ensure he authorized the National Guard to make sure that they were available to prevent this type of violence. If you look at his actual tweets,
he didn't authorize the National Guard on that
and
day.
Statements, he did.
Well, Kash Patel,
and we
his
think the
former
evidence was
aide,
pretty strong in
testified that,
court.
and Kash Patel, his former aide, testified that as one of your witnesses here. But when he was asked for any, documentation or any evidence that Trump had done that, he didn't provide any.
Yeah, well, there were two. There was a second corroborative witness, Katrina Pearson, and in fact, the plaintiffs, they're called petitioners, brought in
But
a
Katrina
tweet
Pearson didn't
themselves
work in the White House.
From one of. Let me finish. Allow me to finish. A tweet from an advisor to President Trump, that actually referenced President Trump's efforts to make sure that to authorize the National Guard. I mean, it was their own evidence that they brought in that referenced that. So I don't think it's appropriate to say that he never authorized. That's just not fair. And I don't think the evidence leans in that direction. I thought we put on pretty strong evidence. And she can say she doesn't believe people, but just because there's not a specific written document doesn't mean that it didn't happen. And frankly, part of the problem with this entire hearing was that we didn't even have the time or the ability to send out subpoenas and get this type of witness testimony and look at other types of documents to be able to make our case. So we were very limited on what we were able to do. So to be able to say, well, you didn't have enough documents, part of that was the truncated or compressed process, the lack of our ability to compel people to talk to us, the lack of our ability to actually get documents unless someone volunteered them to us. So there are some real problems along those lines.
Well, I haven't seen any.
Process itself.
I mean, this has been.
We
a
thought
whole
there
thing.
was very strong evidence.
This has been investigated time and time again, including by this committee. And I mean, Donald Trump himself did not testify here.
All right, so you guys get the message there. They are wrapping, or at least trying to wrap their minds around, oh no, we don't get to take them off the ballot. Oh no. But we did win though, guys. We did win because the judge said that he did it. It's the funniest stuff ever. It's honestly sad watching, the left go through this. Because it's just like, really, just give it up. Give it up. Y'all are celebrating because the judge had an opinion on something, but the ruling went totally against it. What actually matters went totally against what I mean, come on, man. Goodness gracious. Oh, but we gotta win because the judge said he did it. Means absolutely nothing. This is how much that means. Zero. That's how desperate they are. That's what they consider a win. Goodness gracious, man. It's getting ugly for I would hate to be a Democrat at this point in time. I would literally hate it. Oh, that's got to be rough being a Democrat, man. Goodness gracious. But as always, y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, and comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.